Today we're making 3 tropical cocktails that all feature chartreuse. And chartreuse has become a little bit easier to find more recently, but some places are still marking it up quite a bit. I do think that things will stabilize even more moving forward. There was a lot of panic buying, but if you don't have a bottle or can't find one, just go to your liquor store and look for where they usually keep chartreuse. Look around that area for another green bottle and just try that instead. There are many alternatives out there now, and you can find plenty of comparison tasting videos on YouTube, as well as recipes on how you can even make your own chartreuse. I, however, will stick to the original. It's not because I'm a purist or I don't think that it can be replaced, but if I had to make my own, I just probably wouldn't do it. It doesn't interest me that much to make my own. So let's kick things off with the most tropical of them all, the Pina Verde by Erick. I'll start with half an ounce of lime juice, 3/4 ounces of a cream of coconut, 1.5 ounces of pineapple juice, 1.5 ounces of green chartreuse. Garnish this with some mint, and that's it. The Pina Verde by Erick. All right, let's try it. Cheers. If you aren't too familiar with chartreuse, it is 55% ABV. That's 110 proof. You can use it as a base spirit. It's higher proof than most spirits, but it is sweet. And the sweetness there with the pineapple juice and the cream of coconut really transports this to somewhere else because you get that creamy element there. It's not just the additional tropical fruit flavor with pineapple juice, because we've seen other green chartreuse cocktails with pineapple juice. But the chartreuse is ever present, and I can't describe chartreuse outside of the fact it tastes like chartreuse. I think that there's dozens and dozens of different herbs and spices in there, most of which I've probably never had before. But I always think of basil. It's got heat to it as well, but green herbs, mint, basil, and green goddess salad dressing is what my mind goes to. But this is wonderful because it has that herbaceousness without being overpowering, and it really works. If you have chartreuse or a chartreuse-like alternative, then this has become one of the modern era, one of the most popular chartreuse cocktails. It's delicious, and it's not something you have to love chartreuse to appreciate. Next, we're going to make a cocktail I have already shared here before, but it's worth sharing again. It's delicious, it's from San Francisco, and it's very simple to make. It's a Chartreuse Swizzle by Marco Dionysus. Fill this in your glass with 3/4 ounces of lime juice, 1 ounce of pineapple juice, half an ounce of falernum, and 1.5 ounces of green chartreuse. I'm going to fill this up about half to 3/4 of the way with ice, and I'm going to swizzle. Now I'll top it with more ice and swizzle some more. I think the last time I had one of these was 2 years ago when I first did this video. But this is a great cocktail to know whether you like chartreuse or not. So let's try it. Cheers. Strong chartreuse. The chartreuse comes through more than the last cocktail. And there's lots of sharpness. Just 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice, but with an ounce of pineapple juice. It's not bracingly sharp, but it's nice. And, you know, I think if you were looking for like the perfect balanced cocktail, this is like a step past that, which I like. I like that. I like when you have something that's a little bit tartar than normal. And the recipe generally calls for velvet falernum, and I think in this it does get lost. It provides a little more sweetness, but really chartreuse in a pleasant way, balanced out by the pineapple juice. And these drinks are gonna be a far departure from some of the classic cocktails you know with Chartreuse, because they're using like pineapple juice and cream of coconut. So this one's a little bit less sweet, a little bit sharper, but both of these so far, delicious. Long before the nuclear daiquiri blew up with overproof Jamaican rum and green Chartreuse, Charles H. Baker shared the Daisy de Santiago in The Gentleman's Companion. Baker says the drink was introduced to him through the offices of the late Facundo Bacardi, and most likely he was referring to the offices of the late Facundo Bacardi, who's the founder of Bacardi Rum. And I'm going to follow the directions as closely as I can from The Gentleman's Companion. Take a goblet and fill it with shaved, or cracked ice in this case. Now take a bar glass, the fanciest bar glass you have, and add 2.5 ounces of Bacardi rum. The strained juice of 1 lime, I'm calling this 1 ounce of lime juice. And then 1 to 1.5 teaspoons of bar syrup. Stir well, and then pour it over the ice. Next, garnish with some mint, fresh fruit if you want to. Now add a float of 1/2 jigger, which is 3/4 of an ounce of yellow Chartreuse. You can also add a squirt of soda if you want, according to Baker, and he says, a lovely thing indeed. And there you go, the Daisy de Santiago. All right, let's try it. Cheers. It tastes like that rum, which, I'm glad to find more uses for my vintage style Bacardi rum, but not the best tasting rum. The ethanol nature of that rum does come through quite a bit. Using a straw, getting it from the bottom is better. That float just went straight down. It helps sweeten it up a bit. Baker does say that you don't necessarily need to use the simple syrup there. I think you do if you're using as much rum as I did. And it's with that yellow Chartreuse, that it comes through the most, but it's a lot more diluted than the first two. In general, yellow Chartreuse is going to be less strong. It's lower ABV, not quite as big of a flavor as the green. I believe yellow is even more difficult to find nowadays. It is a good representation of cocktails of that time, which I think our palates have diverged from. It is not bad. Okay, it's not bad, but it's not my favorite. And I'm sure you can find more modern renditions using the same ingredients, balanced out a little bit better, using a higher quality rum. But the building blocks there of just the simplicity of the Chartreuse with some lime and some light rum, it works. All right, before we go, a little plug for something I've been using this winter. All of my mint is dead, so I need to buy mint and store it. And I did a little test a few weeks ago, and I just shared a YouTube short on it. I'll put a link right here, and I'll put a link in the episode description, because something that's become popular is people shocking their mint, where you clean it, you cut it, you add some boiling water to a cup. I've done that a few times. I found it doesn't really work. Like it works for like a day. And the testing I did of this one, I had mint in here for about 3 weeks, and it does start to turn, but there's still usable mint. This is pretty expensive for what it is. I think it's in the $30 range on Amazon, but you can use other things besides just mint. You can put other herbs in here as well. So if you're looking to keep your mint longer, it's not maybe the most economical thing, but it does help you from having to go to the store often and spend $2 to $3 on mint. So that's it for this one. There's 3 tropical cocktails featuring green and yellow Chartreuse, the ingredient that has been so difficult to find the last 3 or 4 years. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like below. Consider subscribing to this channel. If you want to support this channel more, I do have a Patreon that you can check out. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next one.